Hi Scorpio, happy birthday and welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your mid-October 2022 love reading. Thanks to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridge and the gap spread. And the way it works is look at the past energies, present energies, and future energies between you and your main love interest. Once we get through all that, we'll pull some oracle cards for some additional insight, and that's where the bridge and the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Romantic Tarot. And also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel like it's that way around your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Nine of Arrows. So this is a Gemini energy here, and it could just be saying that for whatever reason you were reluctant to communicate with this person. We see a bunch of arrows pointing in the direction of their cards, and we also see looks like a angel figure in the background extending an arrow to the woman there too, right? And as we can see, it looks like there's a lot of stress there. So for whatever reason, it looks like there were things that you certainly wanted to say to this person, but for whatever reason you couldn't find it in yourselves to do so. Could be related to passion too, because we see the smoke rising from that box there. So yeah, for whatever reason, you could have just been holding your feelings back in the past. All right, past energy on their side, we have a few cards. We have the Magician, the Knave of Wands, or Page of Wands, and the Four of Swords. So taking this artwork into consideration here, especially the way we see the focus on the sword there, it could just be saying that they might have been the ones to communicate to you first, coming forward with some kind of an offer. I feel like it might have been a bit more of a casual offer, to the point where maybe they might have even suggested something more casual as far as like a double date, or even just invited you to a situation where it wouldn't have just been the two of you alone, and I feel like if that's the case, it might have been because they were going through a bit of a healing process themselves. So, it might have been presented in a way like they wanted to ease into the connection with you more for your sake, but really I feel like it was them who was going through their own healing process. So, they might have been bold and coming forward with the offer, but I feel like it was them trying to ease themselves into the connection as well. All right, present energy on your side, we have the Prince of Staves. So Sagittarius energy here, and of course we do see a big increase in the confidence versus the Nine of Arrows energy. But what's interesting is the body language there, right? He is looking away from the cards on this side. So for some of you, yes, you might be feeling more confident and ready to go, but you might actually just be considering moving toward another connection altogether. But for some of you, this could just be pointing more to your confidence, though, that your confidence is rising, but you might not quite be ready yet to communicate your feelings to this person. All right, present energy on their side, we have the Three of Cups, the Hermit, and the Two of Wands. So yeah, as we could see, like I said, it looks like the communication was blocked off, at least in the past, right? So in the present, I feel like this is saying that maybe their friends are trying to get them to go out, right? Like, oh, let's just go out, try to keep your mind off this person, right? Could just be one of those things, but then when they find themselves alone, right, with that Hermit energy, I feel like they do still think about you, right, and hope for a new start there. But again, like I said, it looks like they probably have people in their environment who are just kind of encouraging them to get out and see what's out there, right, as opposed to hold on for this connection. And I don't mean that in like a bad way. I think that those people mean well, but I feel like they're just looking at the situation like, well, if this person's not communicating with you, why would you continue to wait around? All right, and future energy on your side, we have Sacrifice. So this is the equivalent of the Hangman in traditional tarot, and I can see this a couple different ways, right? But the Hangman could just be saying that you're still trying to wait to see, okay, what do you want to do in this situation, right? Like I said, it looks like your confidence might have grown in general compared to that Nine of Arrows energy, but it could be, okay, well, do I want to put my energy toward this connection or just go elsewhere, right? So you could be a little bit on the fence about that. And then another way that I look at this card as well, there's a story behind this that we're not going to get into here, but primarily the main thing there is to really look at the amount of sacrifice that you're willing to give, right? Because at a certain point, you might even mean well, but if you sacrifice too much, you could still end up losing the connection anyway. So it could be one of those things, right? If you're finding, for example, that the two of you just way too far apart in your interest and whatnot, right? Then it could be like, okay, well, at a certain point, you could sacrifice and sacrifice and sacrifice, but there might not be any payout for it, right? So something to keep in mind with that. And the future energy on their side, we have the Page of Pentacles. So interesting here how we see the flute there. We see musical instruments in the future on your side as well. So for some of you, there could be a dynamic involving music, right? Whether the two of you connected through music initially, or possibly one or both of you could even be in the music business in some way, right? Maybe that's a bit of an issue as far as if there's a lot of travel involved. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. But yeah, with the Page of Pentacles energy, could just be saying that they would still offer something, right? As far as something somewhat stable, but it's not going to be a huge offer. So I feel like they're still easing their way into the connection as well. So it could just be one of those things where the two of you finding your way in the connection. All right, bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Queen of Arrows. So this is actually a Libra energy here, and could just be, I think you guys might have gotten this last month too. If we look at the body language there, she's holding that arrow, right? So we think about the 9 of arrows we saw in the past. Pointed in that direction, she's kind of looking over her shoulder, right? We see the bird there, another symbol of communication, and we also see Venus on the card. So this would be one of those things where you guys had the interest, but you were hoping for them to take the lead, right? So that could have been one of those things where that could have been why you were holding back a bit, right? Where the feelings might have been there, but for whatever reason, you didn't want to be the first to express them, right? Like I said, with that symbolism there, for whatever reason, you could have been being nudged to do so. And bottom of the deck on their side, we have the moon. So the energy from this card is definitely a pretty positive one in this deck anyway. And this could just be pointing to, of course, we're entering into eclipse season soon. You guys are going to have that new moon eclipse in your sign first, and then as we move into November, there's going to be a full moon eclipse in your opposite sign, which is your house of relationships. So could be some significance around those two lunar cycles, so keep an eye out for those. But yeah, obviously it looks like a pretty positive energy around this card in general. And it could just be saying, like I was saying there, where for some of you, it could just be one of those things where you could just be finding your ways in a connection, right? Like, you might have a bit of a difficulty connecting and being on the same page, but the feelings might underlying all of that could be genuine. So that's primarily what I'm picking up on there. And especially if you guys were just dealing with the Mercury retrograde energy, right? Maybe you guys are just finding your way in that regard, where there could have been some miscommunications, and now you're just ironing all that out. All right, so moving on to your oracle cards. First, we'll see what we get from the Moonlight deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck before we started recording. I'm looking for ears, unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And I'll be looking for jumpers initially, but if I shuffle for a while without anything coming up, I'll actually just put the deck down and pull cards that way. So we'll see what comes up. All right, got one there. And next we'll see what we get from them to you. All right, and that does want to go back in the deck. So first we'll see what we got on your side. Okay, we have taken. There we go. Or it was focused. It says taken, I'm unavailable. And so is the focus, apparently. But yeah, so I don't even necessarily view that as maybe you're in another connection in this dynamic. I feel like it could just be more of like an emotional availability thing, as like we see there. Like I said, it looks like you had a heaviness in the past where there might have been a desire to express feelings, but at the same time an inability to actually follow through with it. So could just be pointing to that there. And then on their side, we have battle. It says, I've tried my best to move on, but I can't seem to let you go. Yeah, interesting there, because like I said, in the present anyway, the energy that I was getting there was almost like their friends were trying to get them to come out, right? But like, okay, yeah, let's just go out and get yourselves out. But like I said, with that Hermit energy underneath this card and then the Two of Wands, I feel like their mind would keep coming back to you, So makes sense. I can see how that fits the spread overall. But lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle and see what we get there. Same situation as far as I pre-shuffle this deck as well. But here we're just looking for one card with general energy, a general message to wrap the reading up with. All right, and that doesn't want to go back in the deck. So let's see what you got. All right, we have Time for Net. There's the artwork, and the number is 24. So let's see what it says. Okay, the relationship message says when it comes to matters of the heart, don't make any plans right now. If you're not partnered, it's good to take this time out to get to know yourself. If you're involved with someone else, relax and just be with your partner. This is going to be an uneventful moment in time. Don't force anything now. Allow things to flow naturally, and a beautiful renewal will take place all by itself. Patience is the key to your heart's desire right now. Withdraw from action in your relationship and give it a rest so that your love and connection can become rejuvenated. So yeah, that was an interesting message there. Like I said, it seems like the two of you just might still be finding your way through the connection. And like I said, seeing that card come up there makes me think of eclipse season. So there could definitely be some significant shifts with the new moon eclipse in your sign and then in your opposite sign, the full moon eclipse in November. So keep an eye out for those for sure. But we'll wrap up there and I'll see you guys next month. Oh, also, once again, happy birthday. All right, bye.